Hey everybody, welcome back to the Scentaur Fragrance channel. Thank you so much for stopping by today. My name is Benjamin, and of course I review all those great smelly things for y'all and with y'all. So thank you so much for stopping by today. Today we're going to be talking about a brand new fragrance house. Who is this brand? What is it? Or what are we talking about today? Today is Cross-Centered, a brand new indie brand, a brand new independent fragrance house. They messaged me on my email. I was happy to oblige and share their brand with you today. Of course, I was not paid one penny, and my opinions are my own, 100% honesty, but take this with a grain of salt if you like. I'm definitely going to put my real opinion out there on these fragrances. So let's jump into the brand today. Now, I do have to say in real openness that this brand is kind of religious. That might be a big positive or a big negative. I'm just going to be neutral here, not state any opinion whatsoever on the issue. But if you buy some of their products, they will have some Bible verses on them. So let's jump into the fragrances. There's 4 fragrances here for me to share with y'all. These decants, I was sent 2 of these a piece, and I'm going to be very happy to be able to share these with my family. So exciting stuff. Thank you so much for sending these and all this my way. And I have 2 candles to share with y'all and 2 wax melts, something you would use in like a Scentsy, a wax warmer. If you kind of want to go the flameless kind of route, if you don't want to use a flame with a candle. The first one I want to share with y'all is Baptism or Baptismo, and this fragrance has top notes of pineapple, orange, and lime, mid notes of lavender, geranium, rose, blackcurrant, and driftwood, base notes of musk, cedarwood, sandalwood, and ambroxan. Now, you might think that this is just a Aventus fragrance. The opening does have a similarity to Aventus, of course, with the pineapple and the citrus, and some of that ambroxan coming through and the blackcurrant. It can really remind you of Aventus, but that quickly kind of goes away. The heart of the fragrance is mostly a kind of like a powdery rose and the blackcurrant to my nose. The blackcurrant lending a kind of like dark berry vibe to the fragrance. The geranium really doesn't, add a lot to the fragrance. It doesn't really stand out. Perhaps it's geranium combined with the rose to make it have a little bit more of a powdery, almost like a fresh rose without a lot of that distinctive red tone, red quality that a rose can have. The lavender really doesn't stick out to me in a big way, but that it does lend a tone to the fragrance. It adds a little bit of perhaps maturity. I do not feel like lavender is outdated whatsoever. Some people feel like anything that has lavender in it just feels dated. Oak moss sometimes does lend that appeal to a fragrance, but lavender doesn't do that for me at all. So let's talk about the next fragrance. This one is Beloved. The first one, Baptismo, was recommended more towards the men. Beloved is recommended more towards the ladies, and I think Beloved is their best fragrance so far from the house. It has top notes of yuzu, pink grapefruit, lime, tangerine, red mandarin, middle notes of lavender, pomegranate, neroli, frankincense, carnation, and plum, base notes of white musk, tonka, bean, and vanilla. Now, what's interesting about this fragrance is the yuzu doesn't really stand out. It can be a very distinctive, almost lemon like fragrance or chord. Yuzu is really unique, and I like it. But it does add a little bit of twist on the citrus. But really stands out is the tangerine and the red mandarin to my nose. This fragrance overall has more of an orange-like composition or feel overall. The pomegranate does come through a lot in a big way, and I really do like the pomegranate. I like this fragrance and how it smells, the feel and the tone. It feels kind of classy, kind of like a heavier, not exactly rich, but more complex fruit fragrance. It's not, one of those fresh, happy-go-lucky, light, transparent summer fragrances. It has a little bit more complexity to it. It has a little bit more character. And I really like that about this one. The carnation does add an interesting floral aspect in the heart. And all of these are really nuances. And I quite like that the tonka bean doesn't overpower the composition. And the dry down The white musk, just like in any of these fragrances, really the white musk isn't overpowering, and the tonka bean really doesn't really have a big part of the fragrance. It's not a big aspect of it, and I think that's just right. I think that would kind of ruin the composition if it was a tonka heavy fragrance, and it's not overly vanilla heavy either. So overall, quite a nice fragrance, quite really well done overall. The next one is recommended also for the ladies. This one's called Blessed. It has top notes of pineapple, bergamot, pink pepper, mid notes of it's a accord called Trilogy Rose. Then it has hedione, sandalwood, base notes is white musk, isoi super, ambergris, and a hyrax tincture. Now, this fragrance might scare you away because it says Trilogy Rose, so you might think it has a very complex mix of 3 roses, perhaps. And the hyrax tincture might make you think that this is an animalic fragrance. I've tested these and I've smelled these. I really don't need to be refreshed on what they smell like because actually this is like my 6th time taking this video because of the dogs and everything else going around here. But anyways, this fragrance to me is more of just a simple rose fragrance. Yes, there is some citrus quality on the top, but doesn't stick around for very long, and the citrus doesn't really change the tone of the fragrance. To me, it's still mostly a rose fragrance through and through. I was thinking that the base was really going to be the focus of the fragrance with sandalwood and white musk and isoi super and ambergris. I thought it would have more of just a clean, transparent, universal, mass appealing dry down. And that is there, but it's just quite light. It's a light fragrance, and the dry down gets even lighter. There's not really, the hyrax tincture doesn't really lend much of an animalic quality to my nose. I'm not the biggest animalic person, so I wouldn't say I'm overly sensitive to it, but I don't exactly usually gravitate towards those fragrances. I think I can safely say that there's not a lot of animalic quality to this fragrance. Overall, it's nice. It's fresh. Fresh, the kind of citrusy rose fragrance. I don't know about having the sandalwood in this composition, honestly. I don't know how sandalwood really adds to it. It's not creamy. This fragrance already has a lot of base notes. I almost wish with this composition that there was almost like a white wine accord, something sparkly, something crystalline, maybe something to add like an interesting, maybe medicinal quality to the fragrance. This fragrance needs a little bit of spark, and maybe it needs something a little bit sharp in the texture. Maybe some white leather would really pop this fragrance, or some white violet. That would really add some character as well. Overall, it's decent, but it's very light. It's very inoffensive. All these fragrances are quite inoffensive. But the last one I wanted to share with y'all, it's the last of the 4, is called Resurrection. And this is more of, I guess you would say they're gourmand, but it comes more off as a woody fragrance. This one Resurrection has top notes of cinnamon, cinnamon bark, clove, nutmeg, mid notes of cacao, coffee, and vanilla, base notes of isoi super, hedione, sandalwood, cedarwood, and ambroxan. Now, when somebody sees these notes, you might think that this is an overtly gourmand fragrance. You might think that the popular notes of cacao, or essentially chocolate, coffee, and vanilla are the focus of the fragrance and dominate the composition because they're mentioned as the middle or the heart notes. For me, this is overall a woody fragrance. The woody aspects to the fragrance with the cinnamon bark, and maybe some of the nutmeg qualities really linger on in this fragrance, really perpetuate and keep going on and on and on. And then there's more woodiness in the dry down with the cedarwood and maybe a little bit of the sandalwood. Again, the white musk and the sandalwood from these fragrances aren't very pronounced at all. In some of these fragrances, that's kind of a good thing because I don't think the compositions, that's not what really the composition is for. But in some of the situations, you really would want a lot more sandalwood, maybe even a lot more cedarwood. Anyways, I kind of have mixed reactions with this fragrance because it's similar to Whispered Mists by, imaginary authors. So it's quite a good alternative to that. But as far as being a mass appealing kind of gourmand fragrance, this isn't really a mass appealing gourmand. And I'm not really sure if this one fits the name of Resurrection. When I think of Resurrection, I think of maybe the earth, something maybe below the earth, meeting something up above. So maybe a really fresh opening and a earthy, more dark, dried down. This one doesn't really have the airiness or the freshness in the opening, and doesn't really have exactly a deep, dark, maybe even earthy dry down. It's overall just a woody fragrance through and through to my nose, with a little bit of those interesting nuances going through. Resurrection, for me, of course, loving woody fragrances, and my skin getting the best performance with woody fragrances a lot of the time. Resurrection is certainly my favorite. With the prices, I don't think that these fragrances are going to be priced anywhere over $50. If they are over 50 by any means, I think they would be overpriced, in my humble opinion. The prices, again, are not listed on the website as so far. He's really getting his brand started. He's really just beginning. And I kind of have mixed reviews on his fragrances. They last about 5, 6, maybe 7 hours if you're lucky. They're not bad performers, but they're kind of subtle, and I do wish that they would last a little bit longer. So they're all right in performance, but they're not great, and the smells maybe could be a little bit, a little bit more fresh in some aspects. Some of them needed to be a little bit sweeter. If you're going for a really woody fragrance like with Resurrection, you need to make it like more gourmandish and more woody. Essentially, I wanted the fragrances not to be so mild. I guess I could put it that way. Anyways, let's jump to the candles. I have really exciting things to share about the candles. Surprisingly enough, the best thing that I was sent from Cross Centered, when they were so generous to me, was actually their candle here. This one is, I believe, maple buttered rum. If I can, let me see here. Yeah, maple buttered crunch is what it's called. This is the most gorgeous candle I've ever come across. This smells like the finest dessert, and I honestly almost want to eat this stuff. It smells like butterscotch and toffee and coffee, and it's gorgeous. It makes my mouth water. It's gourmand through the core. I'm not saying this just to brag. I'm not saying this because they sent it to me. I was quite critical of their spray fragrances. This is the best candle I think I've ever smelled in my life. But I am a sucker for butterscotch and buttered candles and gourmand things like that. This smells like a gorgeous dessert that I would go crazy for, like a butterscotch pudding and something rich and intoxicating like with coffee. Oh man, this is gorgeous. And perfect for the holidays, smells like the holidays. Gorgeous stuff, gorgeous candle. So happy to have that in my collection, and it's truly a beautiful candle. Thank you so much for this candle. The next one here is called Frosted Angel Cake. Now that other one, that maple crunch probably is going to appeal a little bit more towards the guys. The ladies might go for this one a little bit more. Frosted Angel Cake. It smells like a white sheet cake. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. It's very sweet. It smells a little bit like frosting. It's very nice stuff. It doesn't really have a bubblegummy quality or anything like the pink makes you think of maybe bubblegum. I think they captured the name very well. It kind of gets light, kind of like Angel Cake does. It has this airiness to it. Gorgeous candle. I mean, I think that his candles probably are the winners and are stealing the show compared to the fragrances, because his candles and his waxes, I think, are quite beautiful. I really want to see more of your candles, cross-centered, what kind of candles you got going on. As far as these wax melts go, putting those in a wax warmer, I have blueberry cheesecake here. Let me see if I can open this a little bit and remind myself of the smell. This one, to me, I guess I'm very critical of blueberry in fragrances or in anything, because I was born and raised around blueberries, and I picked a lot of blueberries in my life. And the blueberry here it is a good, as far as a synthetic goes, of capturing the smell of a blueberry. It's definitely present. It's noticeable. But it still, to me, smells somewhat synthetic. And it's nice, though. A blueberry cheesecake, it doesn't really have the real rich tang of cheesecake, but it does capture that feel like a vanilla, almost like a custardy quality to it. It does a good job, no doubt about it. Nice, it's a nice wax. It's not bad. I guess I'm just really picky on anything blueberry. That's just me though. The next one is called banana nut bread or blessed. You know, I don't know. I'm just being really picky. Again, his candles were the real deal. His candles are gorgeous. I've made, and my mom has also always made around the holidays when I get to visit, a wicked banana pudding, but whatever, banana bread. I've had all that stuff. This one smells more of like a banana nut bread than a banana nut pudding. I personally would prefer the smell of the banana pudding, but it's not bad overall. This one just smells a little bit more like bread. Again, it doesn't smell the most natural. I don't know what you've done, what kind of magic you did with your candles, but I think your candles smell much better than these waxes. And I don't know why that is. The quality of what you have in your candles, the smells of those far exceed the smell of your fragrances, and here with with the waxes as well. So this is my honest opinion of your creations, cross fragrance. Hope I did you justice. This is my 6th take. The animals have been going crazy. Things have been going crazy around here. I appreciate all of y'all for watching and supporting me as a content creator here on YouTube. I'm doing my very best to put my best foot forward and to create great content for y'all. I'm sorry that maybe I wasn't the most excited about some of these things that I was given, but I'm very grateful for everything I was given or gifted. And there's no doubt about it that those candles are gorgeous. So check out this brand if you want a good candle as a gift, if you're excited about these candles, if you're excited about these creations. I'll see y'all next time. This is the Centaur Fragrance Channel. Have a fantastic, a New Year's and everything. Not New Year's, it's already the new year. I meant I look forward to the new year and collaborating with even more brands. That's what I mean. So thank y'all for being here. Y'all know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and I'll see y'all next time. This has been the Centaur Fragrance Channel. Peace out, my friends, and bye.